Number 3. Close the window. It's raining. This happened a few years back when I was 19 or so. I was living in a house with my mom at the time, and I loved a cold room. So, my bedroom window was always open 24/7. At the time, I never closed my blinds either. I liked the cool breeze. One particularly rainy day, I was at my girlfriend's house when it rained hard. I did tend to close the window, but since I wasn't home, I wasn't even thinking of it. My mom was home, though. Sometimes she would go into my room and close a window for me if I was out. But I guess she didn't think of it either this afternoon. She heard a knock at the front door and went to see who it is. Now, I should mention my mom works at a local deli, therefore she has a lot of regular customers that she has gotten to know over the years. She hasn't talked to or seen any of them outside of work until now. An old man was at the door, one of her regulars. She seemed a bit confused, but greeted him nonetheless. He stopped to tell my mom, "You forgot to close your son's window," he said. At the time, she was a bit confused, but grateful that he went through all of the trouble reminding her. It wasn't until I got home when we realized how strange that was. This isn't a regular customer of hers that she has never seen outside of her work. He wasn't shocked to see my mom, as if he knew she lived there. And he said, "Your son's window," implying that he has seen inside my room. Has he seen me inside my room? He also reminds my mom that she hasn't closed my window yet, implying he knows she usually does. How long has he been watching me through my bedroom window? Number 2. The flower shop. My friend used to work at a flower shop. He would work all week and take the weekends off. It wasn't the busiest place, so few people came out. And it was quiet, and that's why he took the job in the first place. One day he was watering some flowers in the outside greenhouse, and he felt eyes on him. He turned around and saw a man staring at him. It was obvious. The man didn't try to hide it, and the creeping thing was, my friend was bent over, so the man was quite obviously staring at his ass. The man was dressed normally, a dress shirt and khakis. My friend asked if he needed help with something, and the man gave him a wide, lewd smile and asked him how much he paid a night. My friend, not being gay and dating a girl at the time, said he was taken. The man just walked away. My friend was a bit creeped out, but continued with work. Hours passed, and he was in the back room picking up a bag of soil. It was one of those giant shelf things all the way in the back, so he practically had to crawl back there to get it. Then, his ass was grabbed. He freaked out and knocked his head against the shelf above him. He looked behind, and lo behold, it was the man from before, looking absolutely insane. My friend asked him why the fuck he just grabbed his ass, and the man just came closer. He was like, "Nope," and kicked the guy in the balls. He crawled out and ran towards the inside. The man ran after him, and when my friend made it to the manager, the guy was long gone. So guy who tried to rape my friend in a fucking flower shop, let's not meet. Number 1. The gross customer. This event happened about 2 years ago when I was working in retail. I wouldn't say I looked particularly young, but I was 17 at the time. Most people would guess I was that age, plus I'm really short, so not appropriate for a grown man to hit on. I was performing a code check at work, recording what's in stock so we know what to order. It was a fairly large supermarket in an okay area. I looked up and noticed this customer staring at me. He was probably in his mid-30s and looked fairly normal, apart from the crazy stare. And then he said, "You're cute, aren't you?" And then I said, "Thanks," and I carried on working. He repeated it again. Now, I'm used to customers hitting on me or saying cheeky/slightly inappropriate things, but this guy took it way too far. He proceeded to tell me how sexy I looked in my glasses. At this point, I stopped being polite and just said, "Okay." He started saying how I reminded him of a dirty schoolteacher, and he loved short skirts and stockings. I looked around for a colleague, but I felt pretty threatened and terrified that if I walked away or told him to back off, he'd get worse. The last thing he said was that he was a naughty schoolboy who loves a spankin'. He repeated it a few times, just staring, smiling at me. At this point, I excused myself and went out to go tell my team leader, who was fuming, and left to find him. He'd left the store at this point. I went back to work, happier that I had management looking out for me. The next day, he returned and asked me where the vegetables were. I told him, and he walked off. It was as the previous day had never happened. He came in the store the next day and passed me 2 times before leaving. I never saw him again after that. And I have no idea what his game was, but I'm thankful he didn't say anything weird again, and he stopped coming back. So, inappropriate, disgusting customer, let us never meet.